Blessed ones of the nations of the world. One more time, thus, as your brother Dan Moses, or say, Yaw Sakoti of TRC, Ghana, coming to you this 15th of July, 2023, the Lord's Day, Saturday, with a continuation of our expose testimony, New World Disorder. We have received the expose part 252. And we have gotten to know that this day, due to hatred for me by the state of Maryland, the FBI, shameless crime covering FBI, the Montgomery County Police, the government of Joe Biden, the Akufo Addo government, and the terror network of Ban Ki-moon, they have engaged in shameless, cowardly, secret terrorism against the American people. And we are mandated by Yahweh, the all-loving God, to blow whistle like we have done for the past 17 years on the behalf of the American people one more time. So we continue. Aquaba to the program, testimony, New World Disorder, America and the nations of the world, Ghana. Why did I have to blow the whistle on the terrorism, blackout, electrical power sabotage that was inflicted on the city of Germantown today? The government of Joe Biden, the Akufo Addo government, the Ban Ki-moon terror and crime covering network, they have been anticipating that I shall be in Ghana any moment from now. That is what they are thinking. Especially beginning the month of July. And therefore, this is what they decided to do. That as from the month of July, the 1st of July 2023, this program is what to do. This is expose part 253. We shall get into the Bible. But we are recapping expose part 252. They decided that in order for them to divert the attention of the Ghanaian people from the heinous crimes of the medical terrorism committed against humanity under the guise of COVID-19 and the 17 years of the cowardly secret killing of the Ghanaian people, which have been exposing at the White House to their shame, they must decide to put blackout on the Ghanaian people beginning the 1st of July. I've contended with them and they quickly backtracked. Ghana, I want to call on us never to yield to any doomsday whatsoever, never to yield to the cutting of water supply to our people, never yield. It is the Biden administration, the US government, the Ban Ki-moons and the global evil forces, together with the Akufo Addo government, who have orchestrated to inflict the Ghanaian people so much that if I get to Ghana and I continue the exposés, because I've told the American people that should I leave, the exposés I'm making at the White House are continue in Ghana. So they want to divert the attention of the Ghanaian people from it, even in anticipating of my coming to Ghana. Ghana, don't yield to the doomsday ugly thing. They do it to you under the guise of national security. They don't tell you. Terrorism has been committed against the nation for 17 years, and under the guise of so-called national security, nobody is allowed to speak about it. America, for 17 years, Joe Biden and the Barack Obama administration, up till now, they have engaged in heinous terror, cowardly security against your land. Today, God has caught them red-handed in one. No matter what you do, you try to do, they sweep their heinous crimes under the carpet of national security. Like I've told you, they sought to lynch me, kidnapped me, and sexed up my wife. My then undercover agent wife. They sexed her up brutal for her to live in perpetual fear of pregnancy. I say, why? If you have kidnapped me and you sought to lynch me, why sex up my wife? Give me justice. They say national security. America and the nations of the world, we are in a state of the world that in the name of national security, you cannot do anything about it. They will kill your father, kill the innocent, and tell you that national security, so nobody can do it. Not the justice system, not the court. You understand? I disclose to us that any issue, any heinous crime that is perpetrated under the guise of national security or global health emergency, or especially under the guise of public health safety. Public health safety. An example of that public health safety issue is the COVID-19 and the medical terrorism that was committed. When they do that, it's virtually impossible for you to hold them accountable. Go check. Go check. Many whistleblowers in America have become victims of terrorism by their own government for exposing crimes. And they are being terrorized. Some have been killed. Aaron Swartz. Some have been killed for standing up for their nation. And the perpetrators of the killing, they killed him for under national security. My announcement from the Lord to you today is that the reason why the Bible makes it clear as to how much power the Antichrist shall wield unto himself against humanity is that there is this one no preacher has ever told you. They tell you that they have so much power and it shall rule all nations of the world. But they are not able to explain to you how would the Antichrist have so much power and be the world president and rule all nations? How would he be able to when there are sovereign states? They are not able to tell you that his rule and the evils that he shall perpetrate against humanity, it will be done under the guise of global security, national security of your nation. Did you hear that? And therefore your police service cannot do anything about it. They will infiltrate your police, they will infiltrate your FBI, they will infiltrate your CIA, they will infiltrate your NSA, they will infiltrate your private and public sector and use everything to do that evil. You cannot access public health service when they are terrorizing and killing you. They will use the medical field to kill the innocent. It will be done under public health safety. Humanity is at stake. You are in a moment that you need to make your decision as to whether you allow the soul takers to take over your soul and lead you to damnation, or you shall make the God that owns your life and the universe your God and let him take over your life. Ghana, under their nonsense secrecy of national security, they are using ugly tactics to divert your attention. The trial of Honorable James, it is the work of the government of Ghana, Akufo, and these same global forces, Joe Biden and his administration and the banking moon, they are doing that, using that to divert the attention of the Ghanaian people from the atrocities having been committed against our people for 17 years. Let's get it today. I've told us. It was created by the government in the hand of the national security. They are all playing you. You didn't hear it. I'm saying that so-called tape in regarding a coup d'etat against IGP Dampare, it is the government dirty work. This week, Honorable Martin Amidou told you something in line with that. Get it clear. It is the government's ugly and dirty work. I have told America that their nation, their own government, have been perpetrating terrorism cowardly against them, and I've pointed to the evidence of that several times. And I've told us fake news have been one of the driving forces. Ghana, state orchestrated evil to divert your attention, and the killing of our people have all been perpetrated. Nana Akufo, the Sarkodie, Yvonne Nelson, total garbage and nonsense. It is the work of the government and the global evil forces. Under the guise of national security. They will sodomize your husband. And they will call it national security. Nothing can be done. But thank God that the word of God is. So what do we do in the face of shameless terrorism against the nations of the world? Global helplessness. Under the guise of public health safety. Under the guise of national security. What di me yere ma be mani bi wan ye so anwan kutin be kaka. Mo say national security we could be president. Really? What to do? What to do in this face of global wickedness, where even some preachers of the Bible have been swayed by the global wicked forces. They have gone for the money of the pursuers of the mark of the beast. When they know so well that they have been swayed and they are going for the money of the Antichrist, and they have become agents of the Antichrist. They are being used for the work of the Antichrist, and they are diligently working together with the global forces for the full unleashing of the mark of the beast. Some are in America, some are in Ghana, some are on various, some use the same Bible. They call themselves preachers, and they know they have been set up. The love of money is the root of all evil. What do we do? What to do, humanity and the nations of the world, in the face of this global evil, is to understand that God is not slack in his promises, but are good promises of bringing you to an expected end, or his promise of vengeance and judgment. God is not slack. It is only humans who think that I've gone through so much and it is time for God to help me, come to my aid. You know, you have lost so much, you have lost your family, lost your wife, lost your children, and why God, why me, why? When, how long? God is not slack regarding his promises or his judgment or vengeance for the evil that men do. He's not slack. Let's get the understanding. That's what we need to do. Have the understanding as people of the church that God is not slack concerning what he has said regarding the church. Tema Committee 4, Assemblies of God Church. God is not slack in bringing justice for the life of Reverend Dr. David, my Reverend, that was cut short. Akufo Addo, Joe Biden and his administration, Ban Ki-moon and their terror, as up to now, they are still seeking to make a fool of the Assemblies of God Church, Tema Committee 4. They cannot. All right. So humanity and the nations of the world, what to do as a family, as the people of the community, as a nation, as the Congress, as the Senate, as the Supreme Court, as the judiciary, as the legislature, as the executive. What to do in the face of this global evil is to have the understanding that God is not slack in his promises, good promises concerning you, concerning your family, concerning that business of yours. Irrespective of all that you are going to, God is not slack. And concerning the judgment and the vengeance of God regarding the wickedness that men have visited on you, God is not slack. He's a God of time. And what he has said he will do, he will do. Let's go to the book of Daniel. Ghana, my name is Daniel. Noble people of Israel, I am Moses. And I take us to the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 5. We are reading from verse 21 downwards to verse 25. Let's get the background with. There was a king called Nebuchadnezzar. God permitted that he become a vessel, and God himself called him his servant, because God has cautioned his own people to depart from evil and turn from their wicked ways and cling unto him, and they would not. So God made a man that does not worship him, does not know him, does not call him his God. God decided to befriend him so that he would punish the evil against his own people. After punishing the people of God, a time came for God to avenge his people. And God ensured that that king turned into an animal and lived in the forest, ate grass for 7 years. That king had a son. His son became his successor. Just like Barack Obama had a son who was older than him, Joe Biden, and Barack has become the president of America this day. That son was called Belshazzar. Upon all the visitation of God's wrath on his father, which he knew, for the evil ways that his father walked, Belshazzar decided that, my father was the one that punished the evils of God's elect, and he will walk in the ways of his father. He decided to dare God by gathering the silver and the golden vessels in the temple of God to have a feast with his wife, his girlfriends, his laws, his concubines, and fondle their breasts, disrespecting God and drinking wine in the vessels of God. He thought God was like his father. Whatever his father pleased, that's what he did. He thought there was no God. So amidst his evil pursuit, God decided to tell him, right before his girlfriends, his wives, his concubines, his strippers who were dancing and on the pole, you understand, they were serpentining, you understand, confusing the king and the parliamentarians and the governments, and with wine and the half naked, and some of them, you understand. God decided to tell Belshazzar that enough is enough. It is my judgment time. Let's go to Daniel chapter 5 from verse 21 downwards. So this that we are going to read. No magician, no captain, no lord in the kingdom of Belshazzar was able to interpret the judgment which God pronounced that to come on the king. So eventually Daniel, who was a captive in the kingdom of Nebuchadnezzar and the kingdom of Belshazzar, Daniel came in to interpret the writing, the judgment, upon the invitation of the queen, who knew of the gift of God upon Daniel. He said, King, you are confused. Edi moasem, I found the my breast. Anom wine war. God's golden vessels to desecrate the house of God and the name of God. But king, there is somebody in your kingdom called Daniel. He can interpret God's judgment to you. So we read on. Daniel chapter 5 verse 21. And he was driven. That is the king's father. Daniel is telling him, and your father was driven from the sons of men, and his heart was made like the beast, and his dwelling was with the wild beast. They fed him with grass like oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till he knew that the Most High God ruled in the kingdom of men, and that he appointed over it whosoever he will. Joe, God is saying that he rules over the kingdoms of men. He rules over America. Whoever God chooses to sit on the throne of America and on any national throne, that is what God chooses and he does. So if you think that the throne of America belongs to you, and you shall pass it on to Hillary or whoever, just like Barack Obama wanted to pass the throne of America to Hillary, and God slapped them and gave the throne to my friend John. Bible is saying that God sits in them. He does whatever. He decides who should sit on the thrones of the kingdoms upon the earth. Joe, you have heard it. Akufo Addo Nana, you have been finished by the hand of God. Try him. Baumia, ate. Ese. Akufo Addo, you are busy. Now, I will busy. Okay. Whether we Muslims, Christians, Judaïsts, we worship or Rastafarians, Shintoists, or whether we are all at stake at the hands of these global wicked forces. They have bought the minds of some preachers, some rabbis, some imams, and they have entrapped them. So no, we should not be surprised when Bawumia has become the goddess of the church and the brainwasher of the mosque. They are everywhere. Let's go home. And thou his son, O Belshazzar, hast not humbled thine heart, though thou knewest all this. All this, we are reading from the King James. The Bible is saying that, hey, Daniel said, the king, God is saying that you knew how God punished your father for his evil pursuit. You knew it all, yet you have chosen to walk in the evil ways of your father. And you have decided to gather your uncle, your girlfriend, your strippers to desecrate the vessels of God. That is why God's finger. You knew all this, that God punished him, and he became an animal in the forest. And yet you have chosen to walk in his evil ways. What is God saying? Joe Biden, you were the deputy Obama, and you worked with him 8 years, and you knew all the evil that Obama pursued to the killing of the Ghanaian people. You did it with him. You know the evil he pursued with global terrorists against your nation and the nation Ghana. You know. Joe, you know. Now, Baunia, you know. You know all this, but has lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords, thy wives, and thy concubines have drunk wine in them, and thou hast praised the gods, small g, the gods of silver and gold, and of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear not, who see not, nor know, and the God in whose hands thy breath is, the God in whose hands thy breath is, and whose are all thy ways, hast thou not glorified? It says, King, you know the evil ways of your father, yet you have chosen to desecrate God and his name and his house. And God in who your life, your breath, your times, your days are in his hands, you have decided not to fear, walk in his fear. So hear what is coming, King. Then was the part of the hand sent from him. Daniel is saying, God will wrote on your wall before the eyes of your girlfriends, your concubines, your wives, your lords, your governors, your parliamentarians, your congressmen, your senators. God wrote on the wall before their eyes. Then was the part of the hand sent from him, from God, Jehovah, Yahweh, Elohim, Elolam, Jehovah Nisi, Jehovah El Shaddai. Then was the part of the hand sent from him, from God. And this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Mene tekel afasin. I will take it again. Mene tekel afasin. Joe. Mene tekel afasin. Nana Addo Akufo. Mene tekel afasin. Mahmoud Baumia. Mene tekel afasin. Ban Ki-moon. Ghana, God is not slack in his judgment. He's a God of patience. Every promise of his are yea and amen in him. What he has said concerning me shall be so and shall not be otherwise, in spite of the vision thieves who have stolen the vision, and Bible says they shall fail, and they are failing and shall continue to fail. National Cathedral 10 Samampo. Reverend Kusibuati. So, Reverend, no. We are not, this is not laughing matter. You understand? I am mourning in heart. But if I'm laughing, my heart is full of joy, it's because Psalm 2 tells me that heaven is laughing. Heaven laughs at the wickedness of men. So for when they were that it will let you think that every day will let you think, oh, tomorrow be free. All that were set up for the past 17 years, they have continued to fret in their soul. When? Will there ever come a time that this shame would come out? No. When they put you in it, it is forever. So it's what I say. Them not this global wicked for the pursuers of the mark of the beast. They are doing this. So humanity and the nations of the world, God is not slack in his good promises or regarding his vengeance and his judgment. Why do we have to receive this message? America and the nations of the world, we must know and understand that in spite of Joe Biden, Akufo Addo, Ban Ki-moon, Mahmoud Baumia, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, they have all been saying that to themselves, oh, how can God, the African has said God would avenge his people if the US government does not ensure justice, if the ICC does not ensure justice, if the United Nations does not make sure justice is served regarding the killing of my people, regarding the torture and abduction of my children, the terror against my innocent children. If justice is not served, if justice is not served, justice department, if justice is not served, if it is not served, my God, Yahweh, Christ Jesus, my Lord, shall bring me justice. And they have been waiting. The justice is not coming forth. So, they can fool God. When is the justice? God is there. God is there. They are thinking. Now, America and the nations who are called back to the program, testimony, all this. God wants them to know and understand that they can decide to invert the laws of America, international laws, the laws of Ghana, and say they are gods and not ensure justice. But the reason why God has not done what he has said he will do if they don't ensure the justice is that, you see these two tortured and abducted children, they are connected to this undercover agent by blood. They are connected to her by blood. These are my two tortured and abducted children. These children, from their infancy, before even the firstborn would attain 3 years, their father was ripped out of their life. I was ripped out of their life upon all the terror, torture, and persecution against, in full pursuit by the state of Maryland. They were raped. Their father was ripped out of their lives, and they are continuing to be brainwashed since 2011 till this very day, feeding their heart with pain, void, seeking to wipe out the memory of their father off their minds. What kind of pain is beyond this for innocent children to suffer from their infancy till their adolescence? These children have suffered beyond imagination due to the hatred for their father by the global wicked force, evil forces in America and in Ghana. Banking, Oslawusu, Oforiata, Ken, Kandapa. The reason why they have orchestrated the IGP Dampares, don't forget, it was Dampare, whose rule, together with the Montgomery County Police, engaged in terrorism with the FBI and the terror network, and they killed a Jewish child. And they know I'm coming, so Dampare's knees are shaking before the hands of Yahweh, so they don't want to make damage control for Dampare. God is smarter than that. I go back to the program, testimony in word. Ghana, what I'm saying is, the judgment of God. God shall avenge my people. It will not tarry. It will not fail. If the US government does not ensure justice, if the ICC does not ensure justice, the just God will prove himself just. Yahweh, my God, will prove himself just by bringing justice. You see, the years of the pain, anguish, suffering, terror, torture against my innocent children. Bankimu, you are hearing me well. We are Kwasiapa, Israel Namisemi Contractual. I don't owe you, and I don't owe your undercover agent. I don't owe Ban Ki-moon. I don't owe Barack Obama. I don't owe Joe Biden. I don't owe Akufo. If I do owe you, me here, I will not pay. If I owe it for killing my family member, killing my people, and sexing up my wife and abducting my children, if I do owe anybody, I will not pay in this matter. America, let's hear this. Let them not ensure justice. But I'm saying that my God says I should tell them, if they don't ensure justice, he would ensure the justice. He's not delaying, he's not being slack. The pain that my two tortured and abducted children have gone through since their infancy till their adolescence is unimaginable, unthinkable pain visited on human children like this. But God's vengeance, God's justice, God's judgment, which he shall bring in avenging my people of Ghana, in avenging me, in avenging my Nana Daniel Pokweji, my Nana Edubofojan, by Reverend Dr. Dipitapemado, the judgment and the justice that God will bring on Babylon the Great and the womb that gave birth to that evil soul. It shall be a permanent one, perpetual one. So God needs to prepare the hearts, the mind, the emotion of my innocent children, though they have been able to endure the void of their father being removed from their heart. That was a temporal one. What God is going to do shall be a permanent pain that they shall live with. So God is being very, very patient. That is why America has not seen what God has said he will do. If justice is not served against the evil pursued by this extremely dangerous US and Nakaba agent. God is a just God. Joe, are you hearing me? You knew of all the evils. Ban Ki-moon, you knew of all the evils that have been pursued. Akufo, you all knew of the evils that have been pursued in worship of this extremely dangerous US, yet it has continued to this day. My God says I should tell you, Yahweh says I should tell you, my Lord says I should tell you, the reason why it seemed God seemed to be slack. He's not slack. What he shall do to the avenging and the saving, the liberty of my children shall be a perpetual, thing which they shall live with. So God is being very, very patient, giving the Justice Department, the U.S. government, ICC, or United, giving them enough time until God's finances, many take care. It is finished. That is why. So not that God is being fooled by political wickedness, wicked, diplomatic, treacherous minds who have infiltrated the United Nations to do this evil. God is not slack. God knows the pain of my children that they are born for years. But this one is going to be a permanent one. That's why he's being very, very patient. God is a just God. God bless you, and God bless my home.